Hi, this is Caroline from the Pet Sitter Solihull. So this is the third video in a series of 4 videos that I've been doing about hiring a pet sitter, what to look for, what questions to ask for, and what kind of things to expect from your pet sitter. So the first video I did was all about the research. The next video I did was all about the meet and greet. Today's video is all about the questions that you can ask your pet sitter. So you're sat there at your meet and greet, and sometimes you just don't know what to ask, what kind of things to sort of ask about. If you're kind of you've just got a new pet and you don't know what sort of things you should be asking for. So this is just sort of like to help you with that. I will link all the videos that I've done so far in the series below, so you can catch up on all of them. So I've got 12 questions. Obviously there are hundreds of questions, and as you're meeting with the person, you'll start to sort of get your own idea of the questions that you want to ask. But these are sort of hopefully will form a little starting point for you to start that conversation. So the first question would be about a signed agreement. So with pet sitting and dog walking, there is there's no regulatory body out there to guide anybody. With dog boarding, you have to have a license from the council, but with pet sitting and dog walking, you don't. There is nothing out there to say that you are following a certain amount of rules and regulations. There's nothing out there, so it's up to you to make sure that you are getting exactly what you want, and the service agreement will detail that. That is basically a document that has all your terms and conditions. So make sure you've got one of those, make sure you read through it, and obviously sign it before you hand over the keys to your house and your pet. Another question to ask is about updates. What sort of updates do you want? I know when I've been away from my pets, they are part of my family. I do want to know that they are okay, so I do want regular daily updates. I love photography. I love pictures. I love seeing that they're happy and they're doing exactly what I would expect them to do if I was there. Do you want videos? I love a little video. I'd love to see my cats doing what they do. Do you want that? Or do you just want a report card? So when you get home, you've just got a card that details exactly what happened at what time, what food they had, did they do their business, was a litter tray full. That's another update. It doesn't have to be a photo or a message. It's just something there when you get home. So next question, what experience do they have? What pets do they have? What pets have they looked after? So there's a cat walking across the countertop there. So what sort of experience do they have with other pets? Can they give some examples of sort of things that they've done with other pets? For example, at the moment, Ivan, who you just saw there, we're doing a lot of positive reinforcement training with him, which I'll explain in a little bit because that's one of my questions. So it's actually the next question. What happens if there's a toilet accident? So Ivan, who you've just seen there, he really likes to keep us on our toes, and one minute we think we've cracked it and he uses the litter tray for a good old week, and then we have an accident. How is your pet sitter? What will they do? Will they deal with that? Will they do a spot clean afterwards? Obviously every pet sitter is going to clear it up, but how are they? Are they going to? I have got no idea what he's doing. He's an absolute pickle. He really is. It sounded like there was a glass has just fallen down. Will they? If you left carpet cleaner, would they clean it up, or would it just be a quick surface clean? So yes, as I said, we're doing clicker training with him. So every time he uses a litter tray, we give him positive reinforcement. He gets a treat, and so we do that. And if I had a pet sitter come into my house right now, I would need them to carry that on for me. Otherwise, he'll be a nightmare, and there'll be accidents everywhere. So another question you could also ask, as I said before, there is no regulatory body. So are they a member of any professional bodies out there? So in the majority of cases, in order to join a professional body, you do need to show them copies of your DBS, copies of your insurance, copies of any training that you've done, and then you are added to their website and you can use their logo. So, you know, as there is no regulatory body, it's, you know, it's whether or not you think that's important for you. Insurance. Do they have insurance? Can you see a copy of their insurance? What does their insurance cover? So my insurance, if I'm out walking a dog and something happens to that dog, or a pet, something happens to a cat in my care, then my insurance will cover the veterinary costs. So if they don't have insurance, you're going to have to cover that cost. So, and would your pet insurance cover that cost? I mean, I don't know, that's something you would have to look into. So these are just sort of things to think about. Also with my insurance, I have access to an online vet. So if I have a concern about an animal, I can book an online consultation and speak to a vet sort of immediately. DBS. I think I've probably said this in every single video. A DBS is it's kind of like an MOT that you get for your car. At that point in time, when that person applies for their DBS, it will highlight whether or not they've got any criminal convictions. So if I had a DBS done today, then, and it showed that I had no criminal convictions, it won't show what I've got tomorrow, if you see what I mean. So although some people have it, some people don't, I think it just highlights the fact that somebody is prepared to apply for it. You have to pay for it, it's not a huge amount of money, but the fact that somebody has done that, I think that just shows that they have gone that extra mile to just prove that they are safe with your house keys, with your pets. Another question, training certificates. What training certificates have they got? Have they got first aid? Have they got any dog training certificates? You know, just ask to see them. Next question, how do they keep your keys safe? You know, what identifies your key to your house? Hopefully it won't be your address written on it, but what system do they have in place? What happens if they lose your key? What happens if your key gets locked in in your house with them outside? You know, these are things that could happen. So, you know, ask them what would happen in the event of that happening. Also, ask them what happens at each visit. We have a system called WAGGS, which I'll link to on a video, and that it will explain our whole system. But it just means every visit is the same. Obviously, no two pets are the same, so it's adaptable. However, it just means that there is a certain way that we do each visit. Again, back to the keys. How do you drop off the keys? How do you pick the keys up when you've finished? You know, we won't post once our job has finished and it comes to the end of that period. We will not post your keys through your letterbox. You know, I think COVID has kind of told us that anything can happen. What happens if you suddenly get stuck in another country in quarantine and we've posted your keys through your letterbox? You know, your pet is then suddenly without anybody to look after them. So how do you pick up and collect keys? And then my final question I would ask is, what happens in an emergency, such as the quarantine issue I just mentioned? What happens if your dog requires veterinary treatment while you're away? What happens if, you know, they require veterinary treatment and then they require lots more care because of that treatment and you're still away? You know, just all these things, just ask the questions. There is no wrong or right answer. It's how you feel and what you feel you want from your pet sitter. So hopefully that's just sort of like giving you a little brief guideline of the things that you could ask. As I say, I have got just something you can download. It's on the website, you can download it, and then just as you're researching your pet sitter, you know, it's got pet sitter name at the top, contact details, and then everything there, and the same with the questions as well. So I've also included the questions in this quarter's edition of the Pet Social, which you can also get a copy of, which this actually comes straight through to your front door. I pop it on the post just for you to keep and have a peruse through. So if you want a copy of that, just fill in the form and I will get that sent out to you. So, and as usual, if you have any questions, please do ask, and good luck with finding your pet sitter.